Today, in fact, there's an announcement today that vaccination will be completely free to all adults in the country.
Next year, 2022, will mark the 75th anniversaries of India's independence and also mark the 75th anniversaries of Indian-Thailand diplomatic relations too. So how would you characterize the nature and development of Indian-Thailand bilateral relations over the last 7 decades?
Yes, thank you firstly, Kunping, for coming here to India House and for this interview. You come at a very opportune time because I'm really fortunate to be in Thailand at a time when we are marking two very important milestones. India is completing 75 years as an independent country. We became independent in 1947. And we just launched, in fact, the celebrations in Thailand in March 2021. And this will go on till the end of 2023, in fact, our celebrations. And at the same time, we're also completing 75 years of our bilateral relations. Of course, 75 years is good, but it is not as impressive as some other countries which would be saying 120 years, we've completed 250 years. For them, what I would like to say is that our bilateral relationship is really an ancient one. It goes back not just centuries, it goes back millennia. And India-Thailand relations, I would say, is characterized by our very old links. And they broadly span three areas. One is the religious link, which is very important. Buddhism, which is of course the majority religion in Thailand, has come here from India. And underneath Buddhism, there's a very strong Brahmanism or Hinduism. So both this very unique mix of Buddhism and Hinduism, which you see in Thailand, really manifests itself all the time. In fact, I've never seen so many shrines to Lord Brahma as I've seen in Thailand, to Lord Ganesha. The emblem of the Bangkok Municipal Authority is in fact Lord Indra sitting on the Airavat. So everywhere that you go, you really see these links coming up again and again. This is the foundation of our relationship, and our contemporary relationship is very rich, multifaceted. It covers all the areas. The focus is economic and commercial cooperation, but we have a very strong political engagement at the highest levels. All the leaders keep meeting each other. My Prime Minister was here in 2019 November for the East Asia Summit. And Prime Minister Prayut had gone to India on a bilateral visit in 2016 and later in 2018 for the India-ASEAN summit, commemorative summit. So we've had all these engagements. We have our defense and security relationship is very strong, very robust. All the three wings of our defense forces have joint exercises all the time. We have a partnership which spans our bilateral trade last year, even during the pandemic, touched $10 billion. And earlier it used to be about $12 billion. This year, in fact, the first 4 months of 2021, we've already, this is touching $5 billion.
I keep hearing about look east to act east from India's policy. Can you throw some light on Thailand's relevance to India's Act East policy?
We started off in 1992 with the Look East policy at that time. And, we became first a sectoral partner with ASEAN at the same time. And then we became a dialogue partner, and thereafter a strategic partner, a summit level partner in 2002. Similarly, this has been complemented by Thailand's own Act West policy. So, and Thailand is really at the center of our Look East policy. So, this has been a very important aspect, and we have about 30 different mechanisms between India and ASEAN, which spans every area, and these various mechanisms, from defense and security to development and other issues, are extremely important. And of course, we've had the ASEAN India Free Trade Agreement, which has been implemented since 2010. And India's own free trade agreement, which is called the Early Harvest Scheme, was signed. In fact, one of the first that we signed with any country was with Thailand in 2002. And this covers 83 products. So this has in fact helped from the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of trade to now the billions of dollars of trade. And we have even more potential there is. So we hope that we will soon be doubled our bilateral trade figures. We have investments from both sides. Our companies are present here for the last 50 years. And tourism.
Yeah.
Tourism is very important. The people-to-people relationship that we have. In 2019, we had 1.9 million tourists from India visiting Thailand. So we are one of the big source countries for Thai tourism. And similarly, from Thailand to India, we had about 160,000 people. So we hope that after seeing your program, more people decide to go to India as soon as, of course, the COVID-19 situation stabilizes and international tourism picks up once again.
Many countries are talking about recovering their economies after the pandemic. So what are the direction of India in this matter, and which area is the priority that you will focus on?
The economy, like most of the countries in the world, we had a lot of challenges because of the COVID-19. So last year, the contraction was almost 8%, but it was much less than what was estimated earlier. So there was a bit of a rebound, after the third and the fourth quarter last year, and since then, manufacturing has done quite well in India. The government of India started what is called the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, which means self-reliant India. So in a lot of areas, manufacturing, there was a huge emphasis on domestic manufacturing of items which were not being done earlier. And, from a country which was actually importing masks and PPE suits and everything else in the beginning of the pandemic, we became, in fact, self-sufficient, and we started exporting to places all over the world. The government of India, in fact, had launched a huge fiscal stimulus policy by which almost $300 billion were pumped into the system in a variety of ways, through cash transfers to almost 400 million people who are vulnerable, parts of the population. Also, food rations were distributed through our public distribution system to about 800 million people, and it's still continuing. It will go on till at least till the November of this year. Similarly, the work program, again for in the rural areas for the migrants, this also has been strengthened further. So altogether, tax incentives for the micro, small industry, loan waivers, other kinds of benefits which have been extended to our, various parts of the economy which have really suffered from this. So altogether, about $300 billion has been invested in all these schemes. And this has helped in a major way, because we've now found that the economy has really shown that it is growing now at this point in time. And the prediction is that once again we will rebound. Perhaps by this end of the year, we will see a good level of growth of the Indian economy coming up very soon. The cases really jumped up. At one time, we had about 400,000 cases per day. And, for a city to be, any city in the world, even the most advanced city, will not be able to take care of 25,000 cases per that. That is what happened to us. But we did several things. One thing we did is that we had a very strong lockdown. And then we improved the infrastructure in a very big way, the medical infrastructure. And then thirdly, we continued with our vaccine rollout. So in fact, we had a huge vaccine diplomacy program by which we had in fact donated or supplied 66 million vaccines to about 90 countries in the world. So we had to stop that because we had to concentrate on our own domestic population. Now we have in fact vaccinated, we have given 280 million doses have already been administered. And as far as second dose is concerned, of course, it's a lesser number, but you have to really look at the scale of our population. If you look at that, and if you look at it in proportion to the number of cases and the population, I would say it is not as serious as it might seem to the rest of the world. Of course, we had a period which was, of great concern to us and to everybody else. Fortunately, it has come now, it's under control, and the cases have dramatically dropped now to under 60,000 cases per day last, we know. And on a daily basis, we are vaccinating about 3 million people. So at the rate at which we are going, we hope that by the end of the year, probably, we would have reached herd immunity.
As I saw from the news, it's like the serious lockdown came with the people not happy about that too. So how the Indian government helping or aiding the people for the serious lockdown?
Yes, like I mentioned, our fiscal stimulus helped the people in terms of, we have what is called the Jan Dhan, which is the financial inclusion program, where everybody has a bank account. So in the bank account, the government actually transferred cash to everybody, which is, that is 400 million people got that kind of a, cash transfer.
Transfer right away? No
Yeah,
need to
directly.
register
Directly.
anything?
We have all the details because we have what is called the Aadhaar program, which is the world's largest national identity number which is given. It's a unique identity number which is given, called the Aadhaar, which means the foundation in Hindi. And so under this scheme, government has the complete database of everybody, and then those who are below what you call the poverty line, they get all these benefits. And then in addition to that, also people who belong to vulnerable sections of the population, even, for example, for women, they have these schemes of giving free, gas cylinders, etc. for their cooking, dry rations, every family unit got it. So we had about 800 million people who have been given rice and lentils, for, like 5 kilograms each per person until November this year. That has been promised. And today, in fact, there's an announcement today that vaccination will be completely free to all adults in the country. So that's the latest announcements which have been made by the government.
Prime Minister, he can open the country in 120 days. That's critical. It's very sad to me. I saw many companies collapse. They cannot survive. The government, they listen, but they can't do anything. So far, they haven't done anything.